Hi Daddy, I'm sending you this video email so that I can read to you some passages from the book that you sent me, Aquafy. I want you to know that I read the entire book from cover to cover, mostly because I love you, not because I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm going to read you some passages so that you can understand maybe why I didn't thoroughly enjoy it. Because I really don't think that you read this book. I think you bought it thinking that I would love it. And I really appreciate it. And I read it because of that. Okay, Daddy? Alright, now the first passage that I want to read to you starts off with this girl. Her name is Sunny. She's one of the lead characters in the book. And it was her wedding day, and it turned out horrendous. Somebody attacked, and it destroyed her wedding. And she's finally had an opportunity to take a shower and wash up, and she's getting ready to get dressed. And it starts off, the closet door slides open, and her gaze drops on the Aquafy uniform. The uniform had sleek light green arms and shoulders, and from the chest to the waist it was light blue. The pants were a sleek velvet light blue with a shiny sleek black belt at the waist. The belt carried with it a communications device, sensors, and medical equipment. She stared at the uniform while she put on her new undergarments. As she threw on the form-fitting uniform, she felt that this was the uniform of choice, that it would help her to do everything she could to vindicate herself, her man, and her people. Sunny exited her unit and headed for some refreshments. Her destination was the systems center. But she wanted to stop off and get some nourishment for herself and others like her who was too occupied to notice that they were starving. When she entered the systems center, all turned and stared at her. Earlier, they admired her beauty as she walked down the runway in her wedding uniform. Now, they're stricken by her beauty in the Aquafy uniform. They noticed the uniform's light green arms and shoulders as it connected at her chest and ran a light blue to the waist. She also had on a sleek black belt with a communications device, sensors, and medical equipment attached to it. No place was to be found for a weapon of any sort on the uniform, and from the waist down she wore a velvety, sleek, light blue pair of pants. That was one passage that I wanted to share with you. Then later on in the book, after another attack, the rest of the crew has an opportunity to get dressed in the Aquafy uniform, and this is how I can tell. It says, it was ironic that the day began with Sunny's request for every person to dress in their best Indian-style garb for what started out as her magnificent wedding ceremony. And now everybody is dressed alike in the Aquafy uniform because of the critical situation now facing the remainder of this day. Faltor's light comment caused all heads to turn and briefly examine each other's garb. A brief smile appeared on the corner of their lips as they noticed how each uniform had light green arms and shoulders and connected at the chest a light blue running down to the waist. Around every waistline ran a sleek black belt that held up a light velvety blue pair of pants. The sleek black belt held a communicator device, medical equipment, and sensors, but no place was to be found for a weapon of any sort. Funny how we needed to be reminded of how that uniform looked again. And then here's the scientific sci-fi portion of the story that really just blew me away. They encounter people who live in the complete dark, okay, under the ocean where there is no water, which is kind of odd, but that's okay. Let me read to you an excerpt of them learning about this place. Sunny is wanting to learn about the vegetation of the area. A young lady asks her, would you like to feel the plants that I've planted in my garden? Maybe you can recognize them by touch. "Sure, I'd love to," replied Sunny. Sunny knelt down, and while feeling the plants, she called out the names of the ones she recognized. "This one feels like mare's tail, and this is Nelumbo, or it feels like it, while these are Limu, Maui, and Posidiani. I feel over here that you have some phytoplanktons. All the plants that I am feeling are edible plants," Sunny added. "Yes, we wanted to be practical. In front of every yard, edible plants are planted. Not only do they enhance our neighborhood, but they can also be used for food," the woman explained. "How are the plants able to grow outside of the water?" Sunny inquired. "Each time the steam passes by, do you hear the familiar sound of the ocean?" asked the woman. "Yes, I do." "That is the ocean when it passes continually over the plants. Or I guess it was supposed to be but if it was a typo then. It gives even them the ocean environment that they're familiar with. In other words, the nutrients and the water environment that the plants need for their survival is provided by the consistency of the steam, which is in reality the ocean," Troy explained. "Spoken in a way that only a scientist can understand," joked Caldor. He continued, "If you scientists don't mind, I'd like to communicate to our home base." Did that sound scientific to you, Daddy? I don't think so. And I'm sure you're used to watching, you watch Star Trek and things like that, and that's about the caliber of reading that I'm used to reading. And this book, Aquafy, it was horrible. Very horrible. Don't read it unless you really, really, really want to torture yourself. I love you. And if you want to make this up to me, you can get me a book that I know I'll enjoy. A Star Wars book. If you want to know which one I want, just give me a ringy-dingy and I'll let you know. I love you. Bye.